Hello everyone, this is Melody Video 1.5, More About Modes. This video is optional and just for fun. You won't be quizzed on this. So we're going to start with a content warning. This video is rated N for nerdy. But if you're still with me, let's get started. In video number 1, we put the song America into different modes and heard how that changed the melody. In Mixolydian, shown here, T becomes Te or B becomes B flat. Now this only happens twice in the song, but we can build chords from this scale and use them to accompany the melody. In Mixolydian, the 5 chord is minor instead of major. So instead of So Ti Re, we have So Te Re. And the 7 chord, instead of being diminished, it is a flat major 7. And that's going to change what our chord progressions sound like a lot. So I'm going to play this song, I'm going to play this song with an accompaniment in the Mixolydian mode. And it's going to sound something like this. We also, in the last video, we changed God Rest Ye Merry Gentlemen into the different minor modes, and I'm going to use Dorian as an example here. So in the melody, all of the G's become G sharps to create the Dorian mode. And in Dorian, the 4 chord, which is usually minor, is now going to be major. In this case, E, G sharp, B. So here's a minor 4 and a major 4. So in playing this song, we'll get something like this. Listen for major 4 chords throughout. I want to talk about where modes come from, where they're derived from. We already know that the C major scale is called the Ionian mode. But if you take those same notes, the white keys of the piano, and instead you start on D, that makes our Dorian mode. And the reason for that is because D minor would normally have a B flat, but we have a B natural. If we go from E to E on the white keys, that gives us a Phrygian scale because E minor would normally have an F sharp, but we have an F natural, and that's the lowered second. Let's keep going. Lydian is F to F on the white keys, because we know that a regular F major scale would have a B flat in it, but this one does not. So the result is a raised 4th degree. If we go G to G on the white keys, we get Mixolydian, because we know that G major would normally have an F sharp, but we have an F natural instead, so our T has become a Te. Aeolian you already know is natural minor. That's A to A on the white keys. And the last one, Locrian, is B to B on the white keys. Because we know that B minor would have F sharp and C sharp in the key signature, but since they're both natural here, we have a lowered second and fifth. Now, I don't teach you the modes this way to start because I don't want anybody to get the idea that every Dorian scale has to start on D or every Mixolydian scale has to start on G. I just want you to know where they come from, and you might find this pattern useful. But the truth is you can start any mode on any note as long as you build it with the same, as long as you build it with the correct pattern of half steps and whole steps for that mode. So here are more fun facts about modes. You have pairs of modes that are related to each other by inversion. For example, the Lydian and Locrian modes are inversions of each other because their patterns of half steps and whole steps are a mirror image of each other. So here's Lydian, whole, 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 half, whole, whole, half. And the Locrian is the reverse of that. It's the same thing backwards. So they are mirror images of each other. If you turn a Lydian scale upside down, you get a Locrian scale. And it's no coincidence that Lydian is really the brightest mode, while Locrian is the darkest one. Ionian and Phrygian are also inversions of each other. And you can see this most obviously because in the Ionian, or the major scale, the half step is at the top, T to Do, and in the Phrygian scale, the half step is at the bottom. Again, these scales in their structure are mirror images of each other. You might find this useful if you want to compose with them sometime. Going on, Mixolydian and Aeolian. They are also mirror images of each other. And finally, this is my favorite, Dorian is a mirror image of itself. If you look at the pattern of whole and half steps in the Dorian scale, the half steps are placed in equally distant from the tonic on each end. So when you turn it upside down, you get the same pattern of whole and half steps. So the Dorian scale is really fun to play with. If you're creating motives and then you want to invert them, you'll get the same intervallic content in those inverted motives. And one more fun fact, we can put the modes together in relative pairs. So you already know that C major and A minor are relative to each other. That's because A minor starts on the 6th degree of C major and has all the same notes. In the same way, Mixolydian and Phrygian are relative pairs because you can take a Mixolydian scale, start it on the 6th degree, and you'll get a Phrygian scale. Both scales have all the same notes, all white keys except for the B flats. And finally, you can take Lydian and Dorian, and those create a relative pair as well. So here's Lydian. We're going to have C major with an F sharp. And if we rotate that scale to start on the A, the 6th degree, we get all of the same notes, white keys plus an F sharp. Again, if you're going to compose with these modes, I hope that some of these relationships, which maybe were otherwise not so obvious, might be helpful to you as you make music with these scales. Thanks for watching my extra video. I hope you enjoyed it. Up next, please watch melody video number 2 on pentatonic scales, and melody video number 3, other 20th century scales, and that will include synthetic scales, whole tone, and octatonic scales. Stay safe, everybody. Miss you lots. Bye.